that I think that we have a very distorted version of what resiliency and what restorative practice is, because we live in a time where we're seeing so many things happen so fast. So like we've seen technology like advance so fast, right? Like we have seen just our lives that is still living and happening explicitly in Katrina. We have to also talk about the amount of trauma, the amount of drug use, the amount of policing, the amount of all of these things that physically harm people across the world, not just in the United States, across the world, in communities that are not being served, and how those communities never get the chance to quote unquote pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
I have so much to say. Yes, I'm wearing a mask. Yes, we're in a COVID surge. Yes, there's someone in the house right now. Mind your business. My work is mostly in the child welfare realm. But this is why I get so mad when there are academics, white academics, who are like, no, poverty is not neglect. We do not conflate those two things. Blah, 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 blah. You cannot tell me that you do not do this when there are black women, black children, generations of them who are saying the opposite. Now, I've worked with some of the lowest of low income. I'm talking, I have no home. I sleep in a tent. Okay? These are the women that I have done work with. You cannot tell me that this is not, we're not doing this. We are doing this, bro. When I say we, I mean the people in these systems. I'm talking about social workers. Yes, you. What Amanda is saying here, which is already very clear, so there's no reason for me to re-summarize, but I'm gonna do it anyway, is that the disinvestment of our communities and the constant attack of policing, trauma, just constantly from every side, housing, healthcare, education, labor, all areas of life, bro, are constantly attacking us, that we cannot, as a community, practice, imagine, create, exercise a different way of healing, right? A different non-carceral way of dealing with harm that is caused. And part of that is because of this disinvestment in our communities. And that's from systemic racism. That's from white supremacy, okay? So, yes, black children are removed from their homes due to poverty being conflated with neglect. And we see this rhetoric, we've seen this rhetoric for decades. In 2006, in Skid Row, the board of supervisors were trying to push out undocumented immigrants and, the houseless people, houseless women particularly, but houseless people all around, from Skid Row, okay? They had a Skid Row outreach team roving the streets all day, creating a whole new risk assessment tool, and families had to hide their children. Are you kidding me? And just the threat of constant surveillance is traumatic, guys. It's traumatic. You have a whole protocol and assessment used by social workers that's saying, hey, if they refuse our services, they gotta go. And that refusal is marked, in a database. So people know, oh, they refused before, boom, that's marked against you, increases risk score. Make it make sense. When I was looking at the Skid Row outreach team kind of assessment that was used in this time, I'm reading from the report, these are some of the things that were in the assessment. Inability to provide minimum sufficient level of parenting, such as client history of keeping children in shelter. Bro, I'm broke. I have no house. But I'm harming my children because I'm trying to get them shelter? Fuck off, bro. Client's failure to protect children. Client explaining lack of adequate shelter inconsistently. And inability for families to access services. And I do get it. Like, most of the people who I've worked with, the women I organize with, have said shelters are terrible places to be. But this is not like a fucking choice, bro. It's not a choice. People be broke because there's disinvestment, mass disinvestment, bro. So how can you tell me poverty is not completed with neglect? Another thing. Structured decision-making tool that they use. Severe neglect, yes. General neglect. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not completed? It is. And baby reforms are not going to change the fact that we need to dismantle systemic racism. Like, we need to figure this out. And this is what, like, the abolitionists are saying. It's not that we're saying that there is no harm, that there is no abuse that happens. It's just that the way that we've been dealing with it is causing more harm, bro. Fighting. And this is not to say that Black people are not resilient in the face of constant threat, constant violence, but to say that we cannot, as a community, build up sustainable infrastructure for healing when we're constantly under fucking duress, under attack. Like, no. Yes, I'm gonna be joyful. Yes, I'm gonna live my life. Yada yada. Yes, I know. Black people are resilient, beautiful, wonderful. We deserve all of the things. We need to figure this out. But we need to figure this out. Also, the fact that you can hear me perfectly okay with my air purifier blasting and my N95 on. Clock that.